Welcome to Asher and Gad channel, making Africa home again, one family at a time. So we're here on site again to give you an update on what we are doing this lovely Sunday afternoon. First thing is the land clearing. In the previous video, if you are on our channel, you know we're in the process of clearing our land, clearing it all of all the debris so we can fill it with laterite before we do the landscape at some point in the future. So if the lovely crystal gives you a pan view, you will see that we have cleared the land, not fully cleared, it's probably about, let's say, 80 to 90% cleared, because we're focusing on the part where we're going to live. That's the clearing. You can see that we've cleared the front of it now, and the porch itself is fully exposed. So all that is nice and cleared, fully cleared, all cleared of all the debris, and even the back as well. The back had a lot of mess. Everything has been nicely cleared, so that is good. We've I just received a quotation today for the filling and the laterite. Boy, I kind of jumped a little bit. Basically, to fill the entire area of where we're going to live, or this plot needs 12 trips of laterite, each at 700 cedis. Okay, so that's 8,400 cedis. Then you've got the border blocks that come, and all the labor and the supervision. All of it comes to about, if I remember correctly, comes to about 12 or 13,000 cedis, which is about about 1,500 pounds plus. So I didn't think it would be that expensive, but I need to give that some thought to see what we do, but it needs to be done anyway. So I just need to negotiate that to see if we get to see if we can get that number reduced to some extent. All right. Now, what we've decided to do, if you look at this stake here, when you're filling your land, the expert will come along, put a stake in the ground. This is an iron rod used, and he's marked the level to which the ground will be filled. Okay, and this ground needs to be filled quite high, because again, as I mentioned in the previous video, we are at the bottom of a mountain and the land slopes from front to back. So we need to have enough filling and have the right slope inside the house to counter the effect of the water that comes from the mountain, if you like. So we're going to fill the land, especially the back, and then slope it towards the front. Okay, and if you come towards the front, what we're going to do here is we're going to put a concrete ramp. We're going to put concrete about this high. There'll be a concrete ramp about that high to that mark in there where the white chalk is, about that high, before the main gate sits on top of it. Okay, and the reason why it needs to be that high is to block any water that comes from, obviously, the mountainous area coming downhill. So it needs to be quite high. The gate will sit on top of it, and that's the gate that you've seen in the videos. And then what we'll have, the gate will be automated. We're going to have an automated gate. So this here is the power supply. That's the power supply for the automated gate, or the motor for the gate, which will be operated by a switch in the house, and or remote controls, if you like. And also you can even operate it via your iPhone app or your Android app. There's an app that can open and close the motor, open and close the gate, sorry, if you want to do it that way. Now, obviously, if you haven't got a signal, then you can do that manually, but there's many options. So that'd be a motorized gate, and that was what we're doing there. The security hut is temporary security hut is almost finished. All we need to do now is simply put in a power point, put in two lights, then the carpenter will come back and do the false ceiling. Once the false ceiling is done, then we will paint the outside so that the wood can last longer. Okay, because if you don't paint the outside, then give it about 2 years, the wood will start to rot. But if you paint the outside, it could last for 5, 6 or more years. So we need to paint the outside as well with emulsion paint. Chris, you need to decide what color paint you want to use there. Any ideas?
I think it's gonna be the same as the house itself, the house color.
The same as the house color itself.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, well, when we get to that, then we'd have to choose the right color. Let's go to the back and tell the guys about the issues we're having with the neighbor at the back. Yeah. So guys, just to give you a recap, so the land slopes from the front towards the back. So behind this fence wall, we have a neighbor, or some neighbors, right? Now, I'm going to give you the history of the land. Before this wall was built, before we even came to this land, the water would always flow from the top of the mountain, flow downhill. Water flows downhill and go, and if you like, for want of a better description, produce some sort of a bit of flooding for the back neighbor to deal with, and they've always dealt with that over the years. Now we've come along, we bought the plots of land, we've constructed the house, we built the fence wall, so we, if you like, we've minimized and helped them. In fact, we've minimized the amount of water that gushes towards the back. However, we haven't completely eliminated it, because there is still water that comes from onto our roof, and our roof rainwater goes out the back to the road behind. Now there is a road behind us, so we have a house, then there's a road behind us, and then you've got the other house. So the rainwater from the roof comes out and then goes onto the road. Unfortunately, there isn't a drainage system yet on the road. The government hasn't done that yet. Somebody talked about, oh, the community can get together and do drainage. Yes, absolutely. I'm in conversations to see if that can happen, but the guys around here, I don't think they're that serious, and it's going to be a massive task, because there's no drainage, no road drainage here whatsoever, and we are quite a distance from the main drainage system on the main road. So I think that's going to be a tall order, to be fair, but you can only try. So the neighbors came to us saying, oh, we're causing them flooding. I was like, really? We're causing you flooding? Not sure. I think we've actually improved the situation with our fence wall. You've always had flooding over the years. But to cut a long story short, she called up my uncle, and she was quite aggressive over the phone, seriously aggressive. And I was like, oh, what's going on? But we went to meet them yesterday morning. I came to meet her physically, and funny enough, people are aggressive over the phone, but when you meet them in person, it was all nice and calm and chilled out. I met them in the builder, and what we decided to do is a nice compromise. So behind the fence wall, where our rainwater pipes come out, we will bend it downwards, put some gravel along the floor in order to reduce the pressure with which the water comes out, and to see if we can absorb some of the water naturally into the soil and help our neighbors at the back, because we want to be neighborly. And what they have also decided to do at the back is, as most people in this area do, they have the same issue. They build a solid fence wall and then they block it. They put a ramp, just like I talked about a minute ago. So they said they can't afford to do that to that extent right now. So we give them a more simple solution: to fill the front of their house with laterite and compact it, maybe a couple of trips, and then use the blocks they have with 2 bags of cement just to create a little barrier in front. So that's what we decided yesterday, and I'm just glad we've come to an agreement, because it could have been a bit of a confrontation, but I thank Yehovah that wasn't the case. That mature minds came together and we just found a common ground solution. It's not always the case, so I'm glad for that. So I think in the other video I talked about coming back to the land filling. There's going to be a border curbs along here, about 107 or so of them, from the back wall to the edge of the security hut. Okay. And then it won't go in front of the security hut, so we don't cause any obstruction, but there'll be a bit behind it as well. And then that's what we're going to plan to do there now. Okay guys, now if you are on our channel, you will know that we've kind of parted ways with the previous electrician, reluctantly, because it's never good to change the tradesmen or women. Really reluctantly. But the guy hasn't picked my call for 3 weeks. He hasn't replied to my WhatsApp messages for 3 weeks. Okay, so he's done all the base wire. I've given him enough, and he's almost holding us at ransom. We're paying about £1,000 a month where we're renting, and we really need to stop that, move into our house, and get rid of that expense. So we can't really hang around for the electrician to mess us around. Okay, so we've had to really bite the bullet and get a second group of electricians in, who are going to start tomorrow. But one thing is, if you're a subscriber, you know that we did some electrical testing a while back, which was successful. But that annoying tester who came did not do the earth resistance test. So we're going to have to do the earth resistance test and see if we need to do some reinforcements of that before the actual filling takes place. We may need to insert an earth mat depending on the values that we get. Okay. So what else? Yesterday was a very interesting, tiring day for us. Went all the way to New Lucky Electricals. That was in I can't remember where it was now. I think it was in where did I go again? It wasn't. There's one in Wisconsin, but I went to
Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, yeah. Wisconsin is yeah. There's a place in Ghana called Wisconsin, yeah. Wisconsin. I think it was that place. But anyway, so we purchased about, let's say, 90% of the sockets, the light switches, the AC switches, the lights themselves, about 90%, and that came to, including the chandelier as well, and that came to a total of about 17,500 Ghana cedis. Okay, including the external fence wall lights as well. We haven't bought all of them because I think this is what we need, and we'll leave the rest until later on. But that's how much it costs. About 90% of the fixtures and fittings, about 17,500 Ghana cedis from New Lucky Electricals. And if you want to use them, just Google them. They're all over Ghana. You find the contacts for yourself. Right. So let me just check this phone to make sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, guys. Now we're gonna go inside and show you the progress of the marble staircase and the skirtings, because Stone Depot delivered the skirtings last week. So guys, here we are inside to give you an update on the marble staircase. It's looking really good. We'll show you that side. They've done an okay job, but again, an okay job, not a perfect job, an okay job. What do I mean by that here? What they were supposed to do is, this tread was supposed to be flush with this riser. It was supposed to be flush, but what they've done is, they didn't cut it short enough. So they've cut it and gone to the side of the wall at the back there. But this should have been cut more so that this beveled edge is nice and flush with the riser. Unfortunately, they haven't done that. But really, I can't be bothered, and it's all right. I'm not gonna remove it because we just can't afford that time or finances. But I've spoken to the builder, so what's gonna happen is the builder is going to plaster the side of this up to this level. All this will be plastered up to this level, all the way up and all the way down. Okay, for all the staircases, because it needs to be plastered before it's painted to the color of our choice. All right, but take note of that, guys. If you are doing a marble staircase, or even if it's granite, whatever it is, the best thing is for the beveled edge, to cut it a bit shorter so that the beveled edge is flush with this riser before you plaster and paint the sides. You can decide to tile the sides as well. But we decided not to do that just to save cost and time, because obviously this is quite expensive from Stone Depot. All right. So the good news is they have started the skirtings, which is great, really great. So he had a riser and a tread. And it's important to get the tiler to do the right measurements. Right, we needed 38 pieces of 10 centimeters by 10 centimeters by 40 centimeters, okay, and 38 pieces of 10 centimeters by 20 centimeters for the riser, and it goes all the way up. Chris, do you want to talk about your stairs, because you obviously chose these stairs for a reason. I think the guys haven't seen you in a while, so.
Hi guys. Sometimes when you plan stuff, you don't really come up with those. I mean, you don't really get the result you want. Initially, I wanted some different kind of tiles, but they were not available, you see, so I chose this one. And then initially, I didn't want this. I wasn't going for this color of floor tiles, but that was what was available at that moment. And then, yes, that was what was available at that moment. So I chose it. But all the same, it's so beautiful. It's so beautiful, and I am grateful. Yeah. The thing is, It's almost, because this is brown, it has a kind of a brown tone, and this is mostly brown as well. It's okay. Right now I'm seeing everything, because if I had everything together, you know, I had all the colors I wanted, honestly, I wouldn't have gone for this
Monte Carlo.
I would have gone for something, you know, on the dark side, so that the staircase.
Okay.
This one is going to be white, so that everything will just look good. But it's still good, because we didn't even plan to have this in the first place.
No.
So you just have to be able to think on the spot and create something that still matches and still looks good, no matter what is thrown at you. So looking at it now, I think it's beautiful, but I'm still waiting to see the beauty, the full beauty, and that will be after this place is cleaned up.
Yeah.
And painted, everything tidied up. Then I can appreciate it to the full.
What about what are all the lines for?
What lines? Yes. So that was what you wanted me to talk about now. And I went on.
That's fine. Yeah, exactly. That's fine. What's all the lines for?
Because when we leave now, it's got this. And what this is that it helps, it grips your feet when you're climbing the stairs. Otherwise, you're going to fall. It's sort of anti-slip something. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, and I do not want to fall now, so that's why I went for it.
Okay, fantastic.
Neither do I want anybody to fall down. So it's not just about me, it's about everybody that comes to the house.
Awesome, awesome. Okay. Alright guys, so there's a picture on your screen. There's a picture on your screen about this area here and what I initially wanted. Initially, I wanted to have light fittings. I wanted to have light fitting every other tread. Okay, and for that, and actually, there's a conduit in the wall for that purpose, which the previous electrician put in. But again, lack of coordination, he's not picking up my calls, so I've just abandoned that idea, because he put it in, and instead of him to put the light fitting bases in, so his idea was to, now they've plastered and they've put the Andre in first stage. His idea was to come and to chisel the wall to find out exactly where the conduit is, then to raise it to the final agreed position of the light fittings, right? For us then to plaster again before the skirting comes on, and it was just long. It was just long. All that coordination, different people, communication being an issue for this particular electrician. I just said, you know what? We've more or less changed the electrician. Don't worry about it. We're not gonna do it. Just leave the conduit in the wall. We just have the skirting as this. At the end of the day, we've got lights above the staircase here. We've got two lights above the staircase. We've got a light here, and we've got a light in the landing. So I've compromised there. All right, I've compromised, but I'm happy, and I know that there'll be enough lighting on the staircase, so we can do without that feature. Because
wow, it would have been so beautiful.
It would have been, you know, the picture on the screen was nice, but it would have been. Think about what we've gone through. You know, think about what we've gone through. It's just a headache. So I just say, you know what, we can do without it. It's just a feature. We can do without. Keep it simple. Let's forget about that. Let's just get on with what we need to do to get on to move into this lovely house that Yahweh has blessed us with.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's absolutely awesome, guys. So well, thanks very much for watching, and as usual, please like, share, subscribe, hit that notification button so that you always be aware when Asher and God upload an educational video for your viewing pleasure. All right, awesome. From you, it's
Kemesia.
guys, Yebeshia. See you next time.